You can wake up 5 in the morning, decide to go run to somebody's house and do something like this, and don't think that ain't gonna affect nobody or you. I don't even think. Let's Chicago. Let's just come together. Let's come together. Let's stop it all. We know it's senseless. We hear it every day. But if we don't work together, it won't stop.
July 4th will never be the same moving forward for this family. This is definitely a time where families get together and they celebrate. But sadly now, this family is planning for 2 funerals.
I just woke up, went upstairs, and I just saw a massacre of everything.
A barrage of gunfire got Frank Mixon out of his sleep early Thursday morning. As Mixon left his bedroom to check what unfolded, he found several family members shot, including his mom, Nikisha Strong, who didn't survive.
After I heard the shots, I was looking out the window, thought it was fireworks.
Concerned relatives did come here to the scene and were, of course, devastated after learning about the violence. They left without comment.
My heart bleeds for this community, which is a relatively quiet community and isn't really used to this sort of violence, and I pray that this doesn't happen again.
Just after 6 a.m. on July 4th, Independence Day, Chicago police responded to a home in the 7100 block of South Woodlawn Avenue and Grand Crossing on Chicago's south side for reports of a shooting. Upon arrival, they would find a chaotic scene and multiple people shot.
Really a tragic start to the 4th of July holiday here. We've been gathering information from family members who are understandably distraught about what's unfolded here this morning. Take a look at this video we have from earlier. You can see the aftermath of the shooting here. This happened around 6:15 this morning. Chicago police say officers found 5 people shot and immediately began life-saving measures. A source close to the investigation tells me several men wearing hoods approached the area and began shooting at a home here near 71st and Woodlawn.
The victims were identified as 42-year-old Nikisha Strong, who was sadly pronounced dead at the scene after succumbing to multiple gunshot wounds. Her 22-year-old niece, Capri Edwards, had also been shot as she shielded her 1-year-old child from gunfire. Although her son was unharmed, she was taken to University of Chicago Hospital, where she died a short time later. Capri's 5-year-old and 7-year-old sons were taken to Comer Children's Hospital, along with their 8-year-old cousin, who was also Nikisha's son. All 3 children remained in critical condition. However, just hours later, Nikisha's son will ultimately succumb to his injuries.
Police announcing that 8-year-old boy's death late tonight, as the 2 other young boys are still here at Comer Children's Hospital, listed in critical condition.
Bringing the total to 3 family members, gone in just the blink of an eye. 42-year-old Nikisha Strong's son described her as an amazing and hardworking woman who was an employee of FedEx. She was the glue that held her family together, often hosting various family events at her home and keeping all of the grandkids together, showing them the importance of family and sticking together. All of the good times, all of the memories, now tarnished by the tragedy that took place on Woodlawn Avenue that morning. Capri Edwards' mother described her as a loving and kind young woman with a beautiful smile and an amazing personality. Her energy was like no other. When it came to her children, she was a devoted and loving mother. There wasn't anything she wouldn't do for them, including putting her own life on the line to ensure their safety. Outside of the once joyful home on Woodlawn Avenue, rounds that were fired were still visible, traveling from outside and making it into the home. Video showed family members calling police inside after more shell casings were found. From what police could tell, this was indeed a targeted attack. But by who? And for what? Who exactly were they looking for when they showed up that morning? Questions we hope can be answered in due time. A neighbor reported seeing men knocking on the door of the home. Those knocks will quickly turn to gunfire. Chicago Police Deputy Chief Don Jerome said the shooting appeared to have started over a personal dispute and previous altercation. 2 vehicles pulled up into the area, multiple subjects exited those vehicles and fired at the residents. Multiple shell casings were recovered from both a rifle and handgun. All of the victims appeared to have been inside when they were shot. Another individual who was inside of the home during the ambush was Nikisha's son, who, like most college students, was home for the summer, spending time with family and friends. As he woke up to the horrifying events that took place minutes earlier, He was left shook. This is something he could never get over.
This all started with just a knock on their front door.
I honestly can't even tell you what I thought was going on.
Frank Mixon was home visiting from college when he woke up to gunfire.
I just woke up, went upstairs, and I just saw a massacre of everything, you know. So it was very vivid for the mind for me to just see everything. It was crazy.
His mother, Nikisha Strong, in her 40s, was killed. Mixon says she worked hard. She was an employee of FedEx.
My mom, like, such an amazing woman. No one ever showed me how to go get in and work hard like her. Working day and night, take care of kids who weren't hers.
Described as the person in the family that would get everyone together here at her home in the 7100 block of Woodlawn. A neighbor reported seeing men knocking on the door at around 6:15 Thursday morning. Those knocks turned into gunfire.
2 vehicles pulled up into the area. Multiple subjects exited those vehicles and fired at this residence. Multiple shell casings were recovered from both a rifle and a handgun at the scene.
Chicago police tell us also killed was a woman in her 20s. The family says her name is Capri Edwards, described as Strong's niece by family. She shielded her 1-year-old child. That child is now safe. Her 5- and 7-year-old sons are here at Comer in critical condition. As for Mixon, he was surrounded by his high school coaches. The now college basketball player says his mother would want him to stay focused and keep going.
What kills me the most, just like, we was just together like 2 or 3 days ago talking about me going to another school or whatnot for basketball on another scholarship as well. While my mom was here, she just gonna tell me the same thing, like, take it on the chin, keep going. Like, my mom was one of the most wonderful women you could ever meet in your life. Definitely the love of my life for sure.
Capri's mother, whom she had an extremely close relationship with, was left heartbroken and devastated. Not only did she lose her daughter, but also her best friend. And now 2 of her grandchildren were in the hospital fighting for their lives. Initially, it was too much to bear, and still is. But with courage and strength, she managed to speak with news crews about how wonderful of a mother and overall individual Capri was.
I feel like I'm in a movie or something right now, because I just can't believe this happened.
Marquita Scott says her daughter's instincts kicked in when 2 armed men started firing on a home near 71st and Woodlawn.
She shielded her baby so that he wouldn't get hit. So she really died to save her children. So yeah. I call her a hero.
A hero who saved 1 son from harm, though 2 others, 5-year-old Scotty and 8-year-old Colby, were hit.
She was a very loving person. She always wanted to help any and everybody if they needed help or they didn't have anywhere to go. She always had an open house with them. That's why my daughter was there.
It was a crime so brazen, firing round after round on a home with kids first thing on this holiday morning, that it left neighbors speechless after watching 2 people in masks jump from their neighbor's porch and run.
Wake up 5 in the morning, decide to go run in somebody's house and do something like this, and don't think that ain't gonna affect nobody or you. I don't even think. That's all I can say.
Marquita Scott pouring out her heart with praise for the person who she talked to every day.
She was just a great mom, a great sister, and she was my best friend. Not only my daughter, but my best friend. We talked every day from FaceTime. So this is gonna be really hard for me not to see my baby face anymore. Yeah.
As of right now, no description has been given of the suspects or their vehicles. Chicago police, along with family and friends, are encouraging anyone with information to come forward. The case remains ongoing.
I'm Deputy Chief Don Jerome from Area 1. With me is Deputy Mayor Gatewood from the Mayor's Office, Commander Branch from the 3rd District, Commander Watson, and Director Brooks. Also, victim services are on scene here for those involved, including the family and area residents. So unfortunately, on this holiday morning, we find ourselves at the scene of another tragedy. We're in the 7100 block of South Woodlawn, where about 6:15 a.m. this morning, officers responded and were alerted to shots fired. They arrived, they found multiple people shot. Investigation reveals that includes a 42-year-old female, a 22-year-old female, 3 tender-age children, which range from ages 5, 7, and 8. Officers immediately rendered first aid, which included tourniquets, pressure bandages, and CPR. Investigation reveals that 2 vehicles pulled up into the area, multiple subjects exited those vehicles and fired at this residence. Multiple shell casings were recovered from both a rifle and a handgun at the scene. That investigation is ongoing. Area 1 detectives are on the scene and working with the officers here. It appears that this started from some type of personal dispute, but all this information is very preliminary at this time. Anybody that has any information can contact the 3rd District, or they can contact Area 1 detectives. Any questions?
Now, neighbors were saying that they saw some of these suspects actually in ski masks on the front porch, like knocking on the door. Is that what's officially been said now?
Not officially. The investigation is ongoing, but that coincides with multiple subjects approaching the house.
What is what type of dispute does this stem from, and when did that dispute happen?
That's under investigation too. We know it's personal. We don't know what it's about. We don't know if it happened just today or if it's ongoing.
Deputy Chief, do you have a description of those 2 vehicles, the suspect vehicles?
We do, but I'm not quite ready to put that out yet, and the investigation's ongoing. We're working on plates and using video surveillance to try to identify these vehicles.
Now, of the 5 people that you mentioned, the 2 adults and the 3 tender-age children, are any of them deceased? Are they included in the...
To be clear, there's a 42-year-old female that's deceased, a 22-year-old female that's deceased, and the 3 tender-age children, 5, 7, and 8, are all in critical condition at Commerce Hospital.
What is the relationship, please? What's the relationship with the folks?
Unsure of the relationship at this time.
Can you give the genders of the children?
The 3 children are all male.
So there's 2 deceased at this point?
That's correct.
Were the 42-year-old or the 22-year-old, who was the intended target, since this is personal?
Absolutely preliminary. I can't speculate.
Were all of the victims inside the home when they were shot?
All of the victims appear to have been inside when they were shot.
Good morning. As Deputy Chief Jerome mentioned, this is a tragic morning. We're here for yet another tragedy in the city of Chicago. On behalf of the mayor's office, we express our condolences to the family. We appreciate the victim supports that will be offered not only to their family and the survivors, but to everybody on this block and in this area. This senseless violence has to stop, and if anybody has any information, please do not hesitate to reach out to the Chicago Police Department and their tip line, because it's important that not only do we hold these folks accountable, but we help this community heal. We have the Alderman of the 5th Ward here, Desmond Yancey. If you want to come up and say something, Alderman.
Oh, I was going to ask you a question, Deputy Mayor.
Okay.
Have a moment. I didn't want to disrupt you.
Go ahead.
In light of the violence, and I know we all know about the mayor's plan for trying to stem gun violence and violence during the summer, what does this say about those plans, and will you all be adjusting or changing your approach to trying to keep people in neighborhoods safe?
We adjust every day, every single day, right? We address the violence and respond to the violence with partnership with the Chicago Police Department, our street outreach partners, and our victim services partners. Every day you have to adjust, every day you have to advance, because there's that much violence in the city. So we will continue to adjust, we will continue to operate, we'll continue to work hand in hand with the Chicago Police Department.
What do you say to those people that say the plan isn't working? We're already seeing spikes, and we're already seeing horrific violence. What do you say to those folks that say that plan isn't working, you need to do something?
Well, what I will say to them is we welcome you to come in and work with us, but most importantly, we're here to support the people who were hurt today. It's not about whether or not a plan is working, it's about the support for the folks who were hurt today. That's what we're here about, that's what we care about. With that, I'll turn it over to Alderman Yancey.
Good morning. Sorry to be here today, mourning the loss of 2 Greater Grand Crossing residents and hearing about the harm that was caused to 3 young boys. Like, just to echo the statements of Deputy Mayor Gatewood, this senseless violence has to stop. You know, personal conflict and guns it's become a bad combination, and you know the summer's just getting started, and I don't want to stand in front of another group of microphones and have another discussion about the pain that's causing our communities. This violence just has to stop, and you know, again, my heart bleeds for this community, which is a relatively quiet community and isn't really used to this sort of violence, and I pray that this doesn't happen again. Thank you.
Alderman, did you know those folks? Anybody on, or did you know of any issues on the block or anything going on with these folks, any conflict?
No, I'm not aware of the specific issues that led to the violence that happened this morning, but I'm really looking for the leadership of the police department to put the resources forward to solve this crime.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for coming.